What's up, guys? Intellitech Studios here, and we're having to use the wide-angle lens for this. Ooh, look how long my arm is. Ooh, hoo, hoo. So, this is a long-requested video, at least in a sense, because I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, what's an update? You know, do a video on your Fantom Domestic again. Do a video on your Kenmore Destiny Plus again. And yes, those are going to get their own videos, especially the Destiny Plus, because the Domestic I've done plenty of videos on, including the fake Domestic, which is a Thunder with some old domestic parts on it. But the Destiny Plus will definitely for sure get its own video, even with this. But this is just a little update and audit on all my Fantom Thunders, primarily because these four Thunders, and I say Thunders as in the one Thunder, the Domestic, the fake Domestic Thunder, and the Destiny Plus, are staying in the collection. But these two I'm going to sell to a good friend of mine by the name of... Oh crap, I'm probably going to butcher this. Is it Vacuum Info? I can't remember. Donovan. Either way. So he's going to get these two Fantoms, and, well, because I was debating on selling them, and he was like, I really want this one, and I was like, well, I'm going to sell this one either way, so I'm not sure if I'm going to sell this one. And he's like, I'll take both. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that works out. So this one's definitely going to get sold. This one probably, like, again, I told him more than likely he's going to get it, but I don't want to accidentally make any promises and then break them, because technically I won't know for sure which ones I'm keeping until I do this video, because obviously if my goal was to sell this one because I have this one but then this one dies, then yeah, that would defeat the purpose of selling that one. So I'm going to run all these and just do a little audit on them, see how well they're running, see what all they need, because I honestly don't remember and I don't feel like going back and watching every individual video on these machines, and time has passed. So I'm going to run all these in this video just super quickly, just see how they're running, see what they potentially need, and just do sort of an audit of my entire Fantom Thunder collection. And that's this video will be, my entire Fantom Thunder collection in a nutshell. As after all, that is a great Alice in Chains song. So, first off, we're going to start off from left to right, and we're just going to go through all these. So first up is likely the worst condition Thunder I own, and that is this Fantom Thunder. Now, this one, if I remember correctly, I got from a local collector in further north in Illinois. And if I remember correctly, this is the same person that I got the Nilfisk branded Lindhouse from and the Bissell Powerglide Ultra. I believe that's correct. So this machine is in pretty rough shape, but I didn't pay any money for it. I just traded it in both this and the other three machines for my Cibo X5, which I already didn't like and already had gotten for a really good deal. So for me, it worked out perfectly. So I greatly prefer the G1 and the X7 and even the X4 anyways. I don't like the white path ones, so that works out. So we're going to plug this in. Now this dusting brush, for the record, does not go to it. This dusting brush will not be included with it because it did not have tools when I got it. Didn't have anything. But I had this on here because I was actually cleaning with this last night. So if you're wondering, that's why that's on there. So Donovan, just so you know, it's not going to have that brush with it, but I didn't say it had any attachments with it. So... because, of course, I'm not the kind of person anymore to hoard attachments from machines, but if I have other machines that need the attachments, then I am going to hold on to them. So, and sometimes you get lucky and find brushes and stuff on eBay, but not always. So yeah, this is that Thunder, and yeah, so this is definitely an older 12-amp Thunder. I believe the headlights are burnt out on this, but I don't remember, but we will turn it on and try it. But yeah, so this one, and the weird thing is that the last time I tried to run this machine, it had an issue where it shut off after a few minutes. I used this yesterday in prep prior to this video, and it didn't shut off. So I'm not really sure if that issue is remedied. I recommended to this person, I think I already said his name, but I recommended to them that they probably would be better off cleaning out the motor and repolishing the commutator and reseating the carbons, as when I did that on my Fury, which is over there, I did it on that Fury several years ago, back in 2020, and it still does not have any issues with powering off. So I believe that would fix the problem if the problem does crop up again. So if you do have any Fantoms in your personal collection, anyone who's watching this, if you do have any Fantoms in your collection and they shut off after a while, and they're pumping out a lot of heat before they shut off, if you clean out the motor and you polish the commutator, you reseat the carbon brushes and clean them up a little bit, that should fix the problem. At least it did with my Fury over there. So it's very creaky. It's definitely the creakiest Thunder that I have, much in the same way how I have a Fury that's this age that's creaky. It does sound cheaper than it is, but it is decently in decent shape. And ironically, the date code is 9817, and yet the filter that's in it is dated for 1997, which is kind of strange. So this one's a 1998 example of a Fantom Thunder. This is after they switched to being known as Fantom Technologies, but this is before they did before they changed the style of this machine. So this is actually when the Fantom logo, this is actually the first time the Fantom logo was screen printed on the machine instead of being a sticker, which I actually thought this was a sticker at first, like on the domestic, but it actually is screen printed despite it being the same color and design and size as the domestic. So this actually is screen printed. But the Thunder badge, as you can see, they were manufacturing the bins the exact same way they were on the domestics, and just simply slapped a sticker on it that said Thunder, as the Thunder branding was obviously an afterthought, and was mainly introduced so that way there was branding for the Fury, and there wasn't any confusion between the two machines. So yeah, this is the earliest Thunder that I have in terms of the earliest Thunder, branded Thunder. In this particular one, you can see it is gouged very badly. Whoever had this previously definitely was not nice to it, but it still runs. It doesn't have any headlights in it, or either that or the wiring shorted. I actually don't know. That is one unfortunate problem with pretty much every Thunder, is the headlight wiring is very, very prone to shorting out. The Fury tends to struggle a bit less with that. So another reason I prefer the Fury to the Thunder. But anyways, on to the next one. Alright, so this Thunder might be a recent, or what's the word? This Thunder might be familiar to you guys, because I just did the video of this from whenever I got it from Goodwill not too long ago. It's the only other Fantom that I found locally. And it's kind of funny how both of the local Fantoms I found are the ones I'm going to part with, which is, you would think I'd hold on to it, but I don't really. 4 is plenty. But yeah, so at least until I find a 9-amp or a Vectron. So yeah. Anyways, this one is from 9906. This one's a year later from that other one, and this one's after they updated the design of it a little bit, kind of streamlined it a little bit, and did some little upgrades to the accents that made it look a little nicer. The bin's a little bit clearer. It has a nice silver cyclone that contrasts a bit nicely with a bit of a purple sheen to it. You've got the purple button right here, so it makes it more obvious to consumers that that's the bin release. And, all the other accents are just a little bit more muted and a little bit more accenty. 12-amp badge is a little bit nicer. Everything's just kind of upgraded a little bit. This is still a sticker, but the actual Thunder brand is now screen printed onto the bin, as is the Fantom logo. Although they made the Fantom logo smaller, which I don't really like. It kind of looks out of place on this big, giant, piece of plastic. So, I don't know. But then again, the Kenmore one looks goofy too, so I guess that makes sense. So, and to be fair, others I've got like that, so it makes sense. Alright. So anyways, there is that. And this one I did clean out of a clog, but it is still a bit dirty. It's not exactly refurbished or anything. But regardless, this one, if I remember correctly, I think the headlight wiring was shorted on this, but I can't remember for sure. Yep. Sounds like there's something in the brush roll. But regardless, this one does smell still very dusty, unfortunately. It definitely needs a filter. But, yeah. So there's that. And next, we'll run. So those two Fantoms are the ones I'm going to sell, although I might end up switching some parts around amongst these, because I know this one, the cord hook's broken, that kind of thing. But the machines themselves are going to be sold. Now here's the Destiny Plus. So this one is missing the screws. One of my friends, my friend Jave Syke, actually sent me a pack of screws in a little envelope, and I know I have them. I just got to find them again. So it's another reason I grabbed these machines, because I got to find the screws to put them in this machine. But if all else fails, I'll take the screws out of one of my parts Furies, because I'm pretty sure both of those Fantoms have the wrong screws in them. But either way, they still hold the hood on. This one, missing the screws, but the hood does still stay on at least, but it's just kind of an eyesore. Actually, not really an eyesore, that's not the right word. Just kind of knowing that they're not there can be a little annoying. Is this plug in upside down? Yes, it does. So this one's the Kenmore. This one's the one that I traded for Abyssal Power Force Helix many years ago. But yeah, Sears Roebuck, Hoffman Estates, Illinois. This one's 9907. So this one's pretty much the same age as that other Thunder. And it basically is a Thunder. It's a Fantom Thunder, but branded as Kenmore. And apparently this is the harder to find version of these. Ooh, this one's really dusty. I haven't touched this one in a long time. This one's apparently the harder to find version, because there's a version where the Destiny Plus, like this part with the Cyclone, is up here and the Kenmore logo is down here, and it's not even the logo, it's just like red writing. And it's like kind of janky looking. That one's more based off of the older style Fantom Thunder, but kind of like that one with the more purpley bits. But this one's actually, you know, very much a modern Thunder, more modern Thunder, I should say. But it still has, you know, that kind of stuff. See me, that's all really dusty. I've not touched this thing in a long time. You can see it's very dirty and dusty and gross. So I'm probably going to wipe this off first, and then we'll give this a run. But yeah, got this for ridiculously cheap. I forgot the exact number, but you can always go back and see the original video. I think the original video is from like 2018, 2019, somewhere in that range. You can go find it on the channel. It's like Kenmore Destiny Plus Fantom Thunder acquisition, something like that. And I think I told the full story. Some guy traded this. I think he traded this and I think $20 for a Power Force Helix, I think. And the only issue with this was that it was clogged and needed a belt and that kind of thing. It actually ran okay from what I remember. I remember at some point it started running really bad, and then it came back. I'm not sure. I haven't ran it in a long time, so we're going to see. But I'm going to wipe it down real quick, because this is all really dirty. And then we'll give it a run. Funnily enough, this cord is actually the really nice, like, smooth type cord that's on my oldest 10 amp Fury and also the Abyssal Power Glides. So it's actually kind of interesting how this has a different cord than the other machines. Because I don't think... Yeah, these all have the more textured cord. I don't expect this to run very well, but we'll still give it a try. Wow, okay. For some reason I thought that was going to sound way worse than it does. And the headlight wiring is still in good shape too. That's awesome. I just got to throw another bulb in it. That's awesome. So, yeah, this thing ain't going nowhere. No one has to buy this. This thing is definitely staying, because this is running way better than it used to. So yeah, that actually makes me really happy. Because then if these 4 run, then I definitely won't feel bad about selling those other 2, because this thing runs way better than I thought it did. And it's the only Kenmore branded one that I have. So I kind of like the idea of collecting some of these Kenmore branded machines, like the Kenmore Hoover Power Drive, the Kenmore Cibo X1, you know, that type of thing. Now on to the domestics. Now for the fake domestic. I say fake because this is actually a Thunder that I got off my friend, whose channel is Dual Cyclonic. And this one is actually a Phantom Thunder, but he applied the old Fantom sticker to it because he had 2 machines that he had basically put together with parts. So this one is a Phantom Thunder, but you can see it has the original Fantom domestic sticker haphazardly placed on it. It's got a broken cord hook, which I'm going to switch out with one of the other Thunders. And it's got a Thunder wand on it, as it did not come with the Fantom wand. So this hose is going to end up on one of those. So that way this at least has a hose with a cord hook on it. But yeah, other than that, it's not in too terrible shape. And it's the only machine I have that has an original domestic bin with a proper gasket. So yeah, so it actually has the proper gasket and everything. So, and this is really loose. So, and I think this one had issues with that as well. This one might have the original screws, I think, looks like. But yeah, so this one will also get a bit of a run. Don't remember the headlight status on this one, but I'm pretty sure they're shorted out like they always are. Yep. So more shorted out headlight lenses on this one. So yeah, this one's also got a short in the headlight lenses. So many of these darn things, the headlights always short out. Probably because the flexing of that cable and a lot of that stuff dying. Now we have the real domestic. This one I got off of Jabe Syke, who I believe goes by some other channel. I forgot what his channel name is. Either way, it doesn't matter because I'm going to link everyone's channel in the description. So there's going to be a lot of channels that I link in the description of this video because most of these came from other collectors for the most part that I know directly. So a lot of shout outs in the video. Oh, wow. Yep. So this is the one where I paid, you know, $200 something for it. Although he did discount it for me, so it's not too bad. But the switch broke right after I got it. Like I turned it on, it was fine, then I turned it on again and the switch broke. So now the switch is like really intermittent. The motor also sounds strangely low pitched, I'm not sure why. But at least the switch is now behaving, so that's good. And I did have to replace the bin because the bin was missing the gasket, so it didn't actually work. So I had to put a Thunder bin on it. I might take the bin off of that domestic and put it on here so it matches, but I haven't done that yet. Other than that, and I think the headlight wiring on this one is also worn out, but he did mention that. And it does have all the attachments. And I know I say this, and for the record, I say this every time. If there's a fault with a machine that I get, as long as it didn't affect my purchasing decision, like if it wasn't the case where I wouldn't have bought it had I known about it, then I literally don't care. So yeah, the switch is problematic on this, but I would have bought it anyway, so I don't care. Because if it really bothers me, I could always find another switch for it. So yeah, either way. And this is really sticky, but it's the only one I have that's white. So this is the only domestic I have where it actually has the white hose and the white wand. So, and he actually rebuilt this out of an extension hose, which is kind of impressive. It's very discolored for some reason, but it is there. So, not bad, honestly. The hose is obviously much shorter than on the later Thunders, but, so like it only goes up that high. But I've got extension hoses for it, and obviously that's not the point. The whole point is it being original. So, yeah, pretty neat. So it's nice to actually have a domestic again after I got ripped off on so many of them in the past. Or got, you know, kind of halfway ones like this one. So there's my proper domestic, which I really like. And the 11 amp motor is a little bit lower pitch too, which is kind of cool. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of shout outs to people. Because what, you've got... I'm trying to remember all these guys. But yeah. Dual Cyclonic, Jave Psych. One of these was Aaron Caning's. The other one was Goodwill, but that's going to go to Vacuum Info. And then this one came from Vacuum Lover 1. So, yeah. And now on to the final one. This is the Thunder that is the nicest out of all of them, for the most part, with the exception of the screws being wrong. So I'm gonna replace the screws on this one too. Either from swapping them from these, or from other. Is there a bug right there? I think that's a bug. I'll get that real quick. But yeah. And this one, I don't remember the headlight wiring on this one. This one's good. So this one's at least, this one has a little bit of bearing noise, but this one has good headlight wiring, has the wrong screws, so I'll have to replace those. And this one's also a 1998. And I don't think I showed the sticker on this one. So this one's doesn't say the date. Probably a 95, if I had to guess. But yeah. And yeah, so this one's the nicest out of all my Thunders. And yeah, so it does still have a good amount of scratches on it, but this one was actually, you know, in decent shape. And of course has good grills as well. So that's all my Thunders. I guess I forgot to... Wait, did I do the... did I do the suction from the wand on this one? I actually don't know if I did. Goodness. Well, either way, I think I did it when I did the video. So... Plenty of suction there. Perfectly serviceable amount of suction. But yeah, so that's all the Fantoms. And a little bit dusty. But yeah, it's all the Fantoms. All the Phantom Thunders, I should say, and the Thunder adjacent machines. So yeah, this was Intellitech Studios with just a quick video on running all my Thunders. And like I said, these two Thunders are going to go, more than likely, are going to go to Donovan from Vacuum Info. I really hope I didn't butcher that name, because I know some of my friends, they got new channels or rebranded their channels, so I apologize if any of this info I said was wrong. But whatever the current iteration of their channels are, I will have them all listed in the description below, at least whenever I remember to. And these will likely go to new homes, although like I said, I will probably switch some parts around and stuff. But beyond that, should be the same machines. So yeah, that's my Great Thunder, my pretty okay, honestly, all things considered domestic, my fake domestic, the two that I'm selling, and then the Destiny Plus over there, which is really nice. So, of course, my three favorites, of course, are going to be the Good Thunder, the Destiny Plus, and the real domestic. But then I've also got the fake domestic. Or no, this one's the real domestic. But I've also got the fake domestic for when I want to use a Phantom every once in a while outside of the collection. So that's good. So honestly, that's a perfectly serviceable number of Phantoms. I feel like more than that would be too much. My original plan for this video was to do this video in anticipation of getting a Thunder new in the box, but then the seller sold it out from underneath me to another collector who ironically was, not ripped me off on a Phantom, but like kind of strung me along for a long time and didn't end up selling me an NOS XT that I was supposed to get. And I passed up on a bunch of other XTs in the process. So it's kind of funny how that worked out. So I was supposed to get an NOS Thunder, still new in the box and everything, but that was ripped out from underneath me, even after I had plans to buy it and everything. Seller agreed to sell it to me, all that kind of thing. So not a huge deal, obviously, but that was the original intent of making this video, was to be like, here's all the used Thunders, and then the next video would be, oh, here's the new Thunder. It's in the box and everything. But yeah, either way, I still decided to let go those two Phantoms, those two Thunders, even though I didn't get the new one, just because, at the end of the day, the Fury is still my favorite Phantom, so that's the one I'm still holding out for, new in the box. I know I have the LE, but a standard edition Fury is what I'm still holding out for. So I'm hoping that me missing out on that Thunder means that I'll be able to get the next Fury that comes along, or maybe even, a different one. So, who knows? But either way, that's all my Phantom Thunders at this exact moment, and there will be videos on other machines in my collection as well, other machines that I have duplicates of. I'll probably do one on some Dysons, maybe some of the bag missiles that I have a ton of, or something like that. And of course, any requests, leave them in the comments below. And some of these, like the Destiny Plus, will get their own dedicated modern video, since I haven't done some of these in a while. I know the Destiny Plus, I think the last video I did was, I want to say 2020, so it's been a while. So anyways, this is Intellitech Studios signing out, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace!